talking.
I'm saying, I'm giving you the answer. If you don't get it, I can't be responsible for your educated capacity.
He told American people lies about what he knew. So tell me, you're saying that he listened to the scientists and made his own decision? That is the biggest bullshit I've heard all year.
All right.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Voices, being brought to you by Radio Zindagi. Will Trump's COVID infection affect the elections and voter sentiment? What's your take on that?
A little bit worried about his condition after he was hospitalized. I think he pulled the rug out from the Treasury Secretary that was working with Speaker Pelosi. And it's, part of the money was going to go to voter protection. And I think it's just one more nail in the coffin of his effort to try to engage in voter suppression.
Question, David. Do you really think he had the virus last week?
Oh, absolutely.
It could be very possible that he is doing this just for sympathy votes. That's the level the Republicans are willing to stoop down to. Not help the citizens, restrict them from voting, spread fake news.
That most of us, we don't read the details, we go headline by headline. One thing I think we'll all agree about Trump is that he will not want to look weak. So I think he did have COVID and he did recover from it. And everything else is just media throwing bites at us.
Mira, I know you're anxious to say something now, so let's move over to Mira.
He knew he had the virus, and then he went and met 100 people at his club in New Jersey for a meet and greet. Coming to the drugs that he has been administered, and this is very, very important for us to really understand how that affects the voters. The first drug is remdesivir, right? Then the drug that he was infomercially selling today all over the social media and on television, it's an experimental antibody cocktail, which is not right now authorized by FDA. Actually, the makers of this cocktail is a company called Regeneron Pharmaceuticals. And now Regeneron Pharmaceuticals, because of Trump's help and the fact that he's pushing them, wants this cocktail to be authorized by FDA in an emergency. The fun part about all of this, you know what this actual cocktail is made out of? Fetal cells. Disgusting. Today, Mr. Trump is sitting out there in front of everybody with all these fetal cells inside of him in a cocktail and selling pro-life.
Do you think the diagnosis is actually going to affect the voter sentiment?
He is somebody who's tested every single day, right? And everyone who comes in contact with him is tested. So forget about the diehard supporters of Trump. And, we have seen that their minds cannot be changed, and that would never happen. But other than that, there are a lot of people who are independents and there are a lot of people who are Republicans, but they care about their own lives. They don't want to die. They don't want their family getting infected. And I think increasingly they are coming to the realization that he is not the man to protect America. And you go next door to Canada, you see how well they handled, I'm talking about developed nations now, New Zealand, Australia, in Europe, they got it under control. And if you go to Asia, you see Hong Kong, Taiwan, even third world countries like Vietnam and Mongolia. And, if you compare what happened there and what happened here, I think a lot of people are drawing their own conclusions. So I believe ultimately it is going to negatively affect the sentiment in his favor.
It's very simple. I think nobody can hide these days about their illness. He was definitely hit by coronavirus. What is important is that to what extent will it impact the voters? And so even the most powerful man in the world was hit. That's the issue that is more important as to who is here to be able to tackle that problem. All of you were referring to Hong Kong, Sweden, this and that, and how even Mongolia handled the situation better. He said something very interesting. Right or wrong, we can debate that here. He said, United States is 50 different countries. The federal authority did not have to pass one single mandate to impose on the whole country like Narendra Modi could do. Like President
Very conveniently, typical Republican style. Conveniently squeezed in the China virus, the Wuhan lab, which has been disproved a zillion times. He blamed democratic governors here. right? People were begging
No,
for.
no, no, no. I'm not
No,
blaming.
I'm
I'm
not
only
done, sir.
saying the
Sir,
statistics
I'm not
and the
done
response.
yet. I'm not done
Just
yet.
hold
I
on.
took the 4
Just hold on,
You
points,
guys.
forgot to mention that those are the most populous states.
right? Thank you so much, Meera.
Now it's out. Handwritten notes are out that the DNC, Obama, Clinton, Joe Biden, they actually did everything against Trump when he was running. It's a big conspiracy that basically they were plotting against their political rival in office, and now they're blaming Trump for the same thing.
What
Thank
it
you for
is
that.
there's a, and you look at my face, there are a lot of people my age and older that are white, and unlike me, don't like the diversity, don't like all of the change, and feel like that this was a Christian nation, and trying to hold on to what they call their heritage. You hear that word used a lot by the president. But what they like more is Trump is almost irrelevant. They like the fact that Trump hates the people that they hate. They hate the liberal elites. They hate the people that are the secularists. They hate the people that are from China, from India, from around the world. So they don't pay much attention to him as long as he's clubbing the people that they don't like. And that's why you've got 38, 39% of the people that are not going to go anywhere because they like what he does and makes them feel more powerful.
They're right. There is a section of Trump's base that he defines by speaking out against the system, speaking out against Washington, when he doesn't even have the chops to even fix it. He doesn't understand how to fix it. That's why every time he makes an unconstitutional move, an anti-immigrant move, an anti-women move, it speaks to their inner instinct. It's very psychologically, it's a psychological phenomenon.
People
So, I
are
mean,
dying.
you
It's a human issue.
If
It's
you
not-
answer Renu's question, Renu asked you a question, you're not answering it.
I just did.
Just like Pence wasn't doing it yesterday.
You're dancing around the question.
And answer it.
I just answered.
Science.
I just answered it.
I'm saying I'm giving you the answer. If you don't get it, I can't be responsible for your educated incapacity. Deal with it.
He told American people lies about what he knew. So tell me, you're saying that he listened to the scientists and made his own decision? That is the biggest bullshit I've heard all year.
Talking.
Party with men
Do
here.
not speak over me.
And I promised to say neutral, but I only have one thing to say. 10,000 people got infected yesterday. 1,000 people died. I'm in the childcare business. I'm a small business owner, and I cannot tell you how much small business owners are being affected. The PPP didn't help anyone at all. Those 8 weeks of money didn't.
We're the world's most advanced country. We don't have women's rights enshrined in our constitution, and that is a bloody shame. And now we're electing a judge to the SCOTUS who is a handmaid, basically. She has written papers upon how women should be subservient to men. Then, of course, we're talking about national interest. Biggest issue we have in right now, the biggest threat to the United States of America is the fact that White House is a super spreader. Our White House, our entire joint chiefs of staff are in quarantine right now, guys. Anything can happen. We are in a state of national emergency, and the emergency is not China attacking us or Russia doing anything. It is our own White House. So having said that, we could have moved past the issue of COVID had Trump just believed in science and fixed it.
Thank you for tuning in.
fact that-
Let us all remember that a difference of opinion in politics or religion or philosophy should never be the cause for withdrawing from a friend. So it's a shame when I read on social media that people want to just break friendship over that. So no, please don't do that. Bad officials are the ones who get elected by citizens who did not vote. Remember that. You don't vote, you get a bad official. We should judge our politicians by their actions and not by their promises. And for those who take no interest in politics, does not mean politics will not take an interest in you. And just like diapers, I have to say this, so I'm in childcare, just like diapers, some politicians must also be changed for the same reason. We live in a country where no one can deprive us from voting, so if you don't vote, you lose your right to complain. On that